that 26th overall pick. It is now in for Atlanta. Talented edge rusher out of Tennessee, James Pearce Jr., is that 26th overall pick made by the Falcons. Kev, we start with you. James Pearce Jr. was flirting with that first-round designation. There is no question of the talent. There is some question of some other things outside of the football field. He is a first-round pick. The Falcons trade back in. They utilize the 26th overall selection on the edge rusher out of Tennessee. Or reaction?
I am not privy to all of what the specifics of the character issues are. It feels pretty safe to say, though, that it is not trouble with the law. So with that said, in a class that everybody believes is terrible, one of the at least 10 best players in the entire draft class was on the board at 26. And that's why Atlanta gave up a future first to go and get him. A guy that, if you would have told Lisi at the beginning of the college football season, was competing with Abdul Carter for first edge rusher off the board, he would have said, you're 100% spot on, just went 26th, and it wasn't because of a down year at Tennessee. It was all off-field stuff. That is the easiest dice roll a team could possibly make. A-plus pick Atlanta.
I love it. Atlanta won the first round. Jalen Walker, and you get Pierce, number 1 and number 2 in terms of the top 32. You won the draft. They lost it last year with the Michael Penix trade, right? But they won it this year, so you got to hand it to them. They completely transformed their defensive front seven. They can now get after the passer. They're great in terms of run support, both Walker and Pierce. And Pierce was very productive in great big games last year. Go to the Alabama game where they, turned it on in terms of the second half. He struggled from the midpoint on due to some nagging injuries, and obviously straight into the college football semi-final playoff loss to Ohio State. But that aside, James Pearce and, we talked about it, Mykel Williams, number 1 and number 2 in terms of overall talent heading into the college football season last year. They got a steal right now.
Yes, he was projected at times, James Pearce Jr., to be one of the first names off the board entering the 2024 college football campaign. He goes 26th overall to the Atlanta Falcons. Of course, a priority was that defensive front for the Dirty Birds. Jalen Walker, their first pick at 15th overall. And at 26th overall, trading back into the opening round, it is James Pearce Jr. The Falcons, who you said, one of the stunning moves of last year's opening round, seem like a winner tonight. Here is the trade details as of this moment. Again, it was expensive for Atlanta to get back into the first round. In addition to James Pearce Jr., they also will get a 2025 third-rounder this year from the LA Rams in return. The Rams get the 46th overall pick, the Falcons' second-round selection, and a 2026 first-rounder as well, along with a seventh-rounder later in this draft. So, Cap and Blue, we go to you. Some of the off-the-field issues for James Pearce Jr. is what kept him until this stage later in the opening round. What exactly is the concern that Atlanta thought they could get past based on his talent?
Yeah, tremendous haul here for the Falcons in terms of what they now look like on defense. Gave up a lot to do it. Yep. What do you see in Pierce?
All right, a couple of things here, Mike. Coming into the draft, you could argue, in fact, you had the stats, arguably, other than Carolina, the NFL's worst pass rush. So they had to do something significant. They've done that, Mike. They didn't add just one. They have 2 guys. Now, why did Pierce drop? Here's what I'm told. Maturity, social maturity, willingness to be coached, doing things the way it's coached. That's going to be important now. He's got Raheem Morris as a head coach. They have a good defensive system. They need guys to get upfield. I agree with Lisi. If these guys can produce and be who they think they are, this takes them to the next level. It's a winnable division. Now, of course, Michael Penix, this first full year at starting at quarterback, he's got to be who they thought he was, but there's a lot to work here. If you're a Falcons fan, I know you went crazy last year at this time. You got to feel pretty good right now.